What's up, guys? My name is Lee Castlevania. I'm here again with my good friend David Alexander from Icon Collective. You're watching the 7th video in our series on music theory. Today we're going to talk a little bit about extending the chords. So far we've kind of talked mostly about 3-note chords, otherwise known as triads. So yeah, let's get into extending these chords.
Yeah, so you don't have to play just 3-note chords. You can play 4-note chords, and the reason that this is beneficial is because adding that 4th note can really add a lot of emotion, a completely different color. Even doing this just one chord in a progression can really change the feel of it.
Great for adding variation. Yeah, I mean, it's just one more tool.
Yeah, it brings a lot more emotion. So we'd like to share this with you. And we're also going to take a very simple progression, add some extensions, the 4th notes, and then we're also going to throw in some of the other tips and tools that we've done in the previous series just to show you how you can come and
throw everything together.
Throw everything together.
Put it together.
Start with something simple and make small tweaks along the way using these different tools and end up with something definitely more musical. So let's get started. Let's look at a major chord, C major. If you want to know what other note you can add to this chord, which in music theory we call it the 7th, but we're not going to get too deep into that. We're just going to get very practical. The way that Dylan and I do it is we just look at the root of the note, which is C, find it an octave higher. Can you point that out to them?
Yep.
And then since it's a major chord, you just play one note that's one pitch below the root, which would be there. And that gives you a C major 7th chord. If you follow this formula for any major chord, it's going to work. Let's try A flat major. Where's the root?
What are we doing? A major?
A flat major.
Okay.
So the root would be A flat.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. Keep going. You got it.
I said A, not A flat.
I'm with you. And so if we drop that by one pitch, what does that give us? G, and there's your A flat major 7th. Cool? So it really kind of a jazzy sound, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And the cool thing about this is you can throw this chord in within a minor progression and it just gives you a different emotion. Now let's look at a minor chord and how to find the 4th chord in a minor chord. It's a very similar concept. We'll start with C minor. We find the octave, the root an octave higher. Because it's minor, we need to go a little bit lower, so this time we're going to go a whole step or 2 pitches down, and that takes us there. And that's how we find the minor 7th. Let's try that with another chord. What about F minor? There's the root in F. We go down 2 pitches, and there we find the 7th, the minor 7th. So very useful. Let's go ahead and sequence a progression. I'll start chords in very basic positions, and then we'll throw a little bit of the tools along the way: inversions, slash chords, sus chords, 7ths.
Earthing.
We'll throw earthing, man, and see where that takes us.
All right, let's do it.
Here we go. And I'm playing in C minor. I'm playing all in root position. I played the 1 chord, the 3 chord, the 4 chord, and the 6 chord.
All right.
So why don't we start by inverting that 1st chord, which is something that we talked about a few videos back.
What do you think? Bring this bottom one up?
I'd say let's go down. Take that top note and bring it down. So now we're bringing this down an octave. Wait, I'm sorry. Before we do that, we'll keep going here. Let's decide which ones we want to add a 7th to. Yeah?
Okay. Yeah.
So why don't we add a 7th?
I'm going to put this back to root, and then we'll go from there.
Let's add a 7th to the 2nd chord, which is E flat major.
Okay. So again, as we discussed, you can just find the root note an octave up. Oops, gotta go a little bit higher here.
Which would be E flat. And because it's major, we drop it down by
1 semitone.
Great, so now we've added the 4th note to that chord. Our next note is F minor. Why don't we add a 7th to that? Now this is a minor chord, so after you find the octave, we have to find the pitch 2 pitches below the root.
Yep, so we're going to go up the octave, down 2, and there we have it.
And let's just get crazy with it and add the 7th to the A flat as well, just for the hell of it.
All right.
This is a major chord, so we use 1 pitch below the root. Drop it down by 1. So I repeated the progression twice. The second version is the original, and the first is with the 7ths. Let's hear that.
All right, here we go. I'm going to zoom out so everybody can see what's going on.
Cool, right? We're covering a lot more of the frequency space of the keyboard. It sounds fuller. There's definitely a lot more color. So now let's try inverting these. So why don't we take the first chord and bring that note down an octave.
Which note would you like to play?
Would be the G and the C in the first chord, the C minor.
I'm going to grab the G, the top.
Yeah.
All right.
And now let's bring the next chord down to kind of have it be in the same register. Cool. Now we also talked about sus chords. So that E flat, the second chord is E flat major, meaning that the middle note is G. So let's sus that. Let's make that G an F.
Okay.
Would be the bottom note, I believe. It's actually in the second chord, the one that we inverted.
Oops.
There it is.
There it is. Cool.
Bring that down 1 to F, 1 more pitch. And we talked about sus chords, I think, 2 videos ago, so you can check that out. And let's just invert these down and see what we get. Let's hear that.
Cool. Let's get this guy involved. See what happens. All right. That's one way. Here's another inversion.
Pretty interesting. I like the version that you had before because there was one note that was consistent across all the chords. Again, by adding that 4th note, you can explode these over multiple octaves. So you could even take a couple of these notes that are in the middle and bring them up an octave.
Yeah.
There's a lot that you can do. So that's the idea of 7th chords and the idea of using slash chords and inversions as well. That looks interesting. What does that sound like?
Pretty cool. And you don't have to necessarily go as crazy as we're going here.
Right. If this is the first video that you're watching, we encourage you to start with the 1st and lead all the way up to the 7th, and all these concepts will make sense. Hopefully we will do maybe one more video and show them how to break some rules.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. I love it. So until next time, take this information and do what?
Go make some music.
Go make some music.